Hello everyone, my name is Adrian and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's a very cold January morning. It's currently around 8 in the morning. I had to spend a little bit of time de-icing the car. So car's warmed up, I'm ready, I hope you're ready. I'm about to head to my friend's place and we're going to do a few bits on the car. So let's start the journey. Hello guys, just arrived. Let me just introduce you to my friend over here.
Hello guys, I'm Ronald.
And what are we doing today, Ronald?
So we're doing an interim service today on a Golf MK5 R32. Very simple, straightforward, just dropping the engine oil and giving it a nice little fresh top up to go into the spring period.
Amazing. Any words of advice for anyone that's just planning to try and do stuff on their own car?
Well, first of all, don't panic, because as long as you have access to online resources or the service manual, you'll be able to find all the advice in terms of how to jack it up safely, what type of engine oil you're going to need. In this case, we're going to be using 5W30.
I think you're right.
Do you know how much litres we're going to be putting? I think like 6 and a bit?
Almost
7?
6, yeah, I reckon almost 6.
But the first, obviously, port of call would be to obviously make sure that we jack up the car safely, because the R32, if those of you don't know, is a very heavy car. There are 3 jacking points at the front of the car, 1 in the middle just behind the engine, and 2 under the axle point. Those are the 2 points or 3 points we can jack a car up from. So we'll probably just do the middle one at a slight angle, which means I can get access to the engine tray, so I can drop that, get the sump nuts off, and then we can start draining some oil.
Amazing. Alright, let's get working.
Cool, so you join us underneath the belly of the beast. A bit of a drama trying to get this jacked up. Basically, because the car is so low, a low profile trolley jack can't get under this lip bit here. So to get around that, what we had to do is we had to turn the wheel on full lock and get a smaller jack, which I just so happen to have, which most people tend to have in their garages, under the bottom drive arm. I forgot what the name is off the top of my head, too early in the morning. Basically, I got it under the thickest piece of metal under the car. Okay, so that gave me a little bit of space so that I could jack it up a little bit, so I can get my big jack underneath this part here, which is a big bulkhead part of the vehicle, which sits just behind the engine. That's a very strong part of the car. That's where we basically lifted the car. So that was 1, 2, 3 jacking points. We've used 1 and 2 to lift the car up. Then we've got some 3-ton axle stands, which you can get at most car repair stores or Halfords if you're in the UK. And I've basically just got it under the lower wishbone. That's what they're called, lower wishbone. And that gives it a nice bit of stability so the car does not move.
Gosh, that was brave.
Yeah, very brave. Right, we've got underneath the car, obviously being a car from 2006, you're going to find a bit of rust and corrosion depending on where in the world it's been kept. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws ish that we need to take off. This is the engine tray, so this protects your car from all the elements like driving through puddles and stuff, driving through mud if you're that way inclined. Keeps the engine nice and clean. Once we get this off, then we can have a look and see what's going on underneath here. So be back in 2 ticks.
Thanks for the update, Ronald.
Right, so after much messing around, taking the bottom tray off. We've managed to get to the engine sump plug. Yeah, this was on really tight, so whoever did it previously was some sort of Herculean strength. But this is where we're going to now drop the oil. And dropped it off. There we are. There we are. So this is a Sealy 10 litre oil fluid drain. Absolutely invaluable, especially for these cars with larger engines, because they hold a crap ton of oil. I can't remember how much I picked this up for. I'll put the link in the description. But I did pick it up from, I think it's Halfords.
You'll put the link in the description, yeah or not?
I will put the link in the description, yes.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, a good thing to obviously have a look at when you're draining oil is what type of color the oil is.
How are we looking?
Looking okay. Usually if the oil is like a milky solution, like coffee, then that's not very good, because that indicates that you've got potential head gasket failure and water or coolant has gone into the engine block. But this one seems okay. And what you have to always do, because I always forget to do it, is pull back a little bit, because as most of the oil is starting to drain, it just starts to flow over the edge. So we'll leave that for a few minutes, and then we'll jump to the top of the engine and open up the top so that the oil could just flow through nicely.
Nice. Where are we at?
Right, so finally got the oil filter off.
What?
But look at the state of the old one. This is probably over 2 years, I reckon, at a glance, because the oil is black as anything. This is literally breaking apart. Pun, if you show me what a new one would be like.
Ta-da!
Look at the comparison between the two. So the biggest benefit of obviously oil filters is that its job is to capture any impurities that are inside the oil. Sorry, not the oil. Inside the engine chamber, right? So anything that the pistons is throwing up or anything like that, as the oil is recirculating around the system, the oil filter's job is to capture it. Clearly, looking at this, the oil filter's not really capturing a lot. So if we put this through a performance test, I guarantee you any money, it probably wouldn't actually, it would be probably a few horsepower down on what it should be. But this is the new one. As you can see, all the filaments are nice and clean, so that's going to go in there. Going to put everything back together, put some new oil in there, and then we'll do obviously our road test, and it'll be good to go.
Alright, so we just filled the car up with oil. Didn't fill up all the way to the top. The car's recommended to be around approximately 5.5 litres. Just filled up with 4.5 litres. Just started the car, just warming her up, and then just checking to see if there's any leaks. So that's it, just an update for now. So job done, oil's changed, filters changed, and just to summarize what we've done so far and the challenges we come across, Ronald.
So ultimately the biggest challenge really was ensuring you have all the tools for the job. So the 36mm socket to go over the old filter housing was probably the one tool, like I was saying earlier, that you don't get in most toolkits. So you definitely want to make sure you have one of those before you start your little servicing project. The second challenge was the jacks when we're trying to bring the car down. I would recommend that it's better that you have 2 car jacks, because the clearance of the car, because the R32 sits so low to the ground, there's not enough clearance to get one of the low profile jacks, which I've also got. So I'd recommend the basic ones that you can get from like Halfords for not that much money, like 50 quid or whatever, and then obviously have it under both the lower wishbones, which then allows the car to go up high enough that you can put the axle stands. That would be my recommendation.
So now, what are we going to do, Ronald?
We're going to do what we do best, pun. We're going to go for a little road test. And fortunately, around this area, you got some nice windy B roads that would allow us to test out the performance in a safe UK legal way.
Alright, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Catch you later, guys. Alright, so test drive's all done and car's driving fine, smooth, had a look around, no warning lights, which is a good sign. Just an oil and filter change anyway, so don't expect anything funny to happen. No leaks, car's happy, I'm happy, Ronald's happy, we're good. So I'm just gonna head home now and I'll catch you in a bit. Alright, thank you very much. So that's the end of my very first YouTube video. Hope you all enjoyed the content. Just want to make it very clear that this is by no means a how-to or tutorial video on how to change the oil and oil filter on your Mark 5 Golf R32. This is just myself, my friend Ronald, just doing what we like doing on our time off, either just, you know, doing bits on our cars, going for little drives. This is just a, you know, a glimpse of some of the stuff that I have coming up. The channel is not just going to be about cars, it's going to be about a whole load of other things I like doing, so please stay tuned and also subscribe, please. Thank you very much. See you next time.